government. Even these members of parliament who are calling themselves government, there's nothing like that. They're just members of parliament. I will leave that for the members of public to digest and understand. I want to say this. On the 14th of March, and this now confirms my worst fears, that those things that he's saying, that these are member, these are former vice president, this is ABCD. On 14th of March, Kalonzo Musyoka said the following words, and I will leave it to the members of public. In fact, it is here by Capital News, and it is quoted word for word, and I listened to it myself. For him saying, he said, I don't think people even know what they signed for at that case. These are the words. This thing has shifted. It is no longer Azimio la Umoja movement, but Azimio Oka. Our lawyers, led by me, will have to reflect on the legal technicalities. What I am sure is that in the next few days we will register Azimio Oka, he said. He said that he doesn't even know what the Secretary General...
We received those are statements which were made out of the political atmosphere.
Well, I'll just say it, but I had it, and they were saying, he said, there was nothing there. Even you will agree with me, what people signed at KICC. If I ask all those Secretary Generals what they fixed their signatures to, probably nobody knows, said Kalonzo Musyoka. This is on the 14th of March. And this document had been signed just about a week before.
Okay.
On the I think on the 9th or 10th of March. So what you're saying is the truth, and I'm telling Tom Odege to just have some lesson from me, just kidogo on honesty. And when you come here to a national TV, please be honest with these people. And these people, they listen and they know and they can judge that you're being honest. And the real
battle. 1 minute.
Go ahead,
you know, you're reading a statement issued in March. And by that time of March, these parties were still negotiating. So those were political statements of negotiations.
We are still in political environment. Even now, what I'm stating is a political statement.
So,
but it is a political statement of fact.
Kalonzo's statement
and truth
was developing a document. So you go and see the current one after all those. He tried to explain there. What I want to tell you, Olo, we are here, and the Kenya is governed by law. Let's wait and see whether the person who promised to rule by law will violate that law. That's what we are waiting for.
I'm curious about this statement that they are in Azimio against their will.
No, let me tell you.
There's an aspect of will.
Let me tell you something.
And law.
Why do you talk about will after elections? That's why I tell you auctioneering is going on. It's as if they were joining Azimio when they were sleeping. Then after election, they have woken up. They realize they slept in a wrong room. You can only cheat a child.
Can it be proven in a court of law?
That's what they are trying there. We are waiting to see. Because if they would have said that one before elections,
yes,
it was convincing. But you don't wait until you see the outcome of elections, and when you see somebody being sworn in, now you run. Now is when you're saying you're waking up. Those ones are the politics which we want end in this country once and for all.
Okay.
We want, like now me as the Nyatika MP. I was elected in Azimio and ODM ticket. I'm comfortable where I am. Whether I'm in the government or I'm in the opposition, my people will have to accept I was elected on that ticket.
Yes.
If they were willing to be in the government and we have not found ourselves in the government, we are in the opposition, we have to contend with that opposition. And that will not stop me from serving them. And someone like me, you cannot tempt me to cross. Which government am I going to? I'm a Kenyan. And the Kenyan government, I expect to serve me in any capacity where I am. And I expect my people, the people who elected me, also to be contented to where I am, because that's where I'm representing them from. And I've been an MP for the last 5 years. I served them from the opposition and they never complained. That's why they re-elected me. And I'll continue serving them where I am. But I don't want my people to start seeing me sending mixed signals as if I'm a goat to be taken to the soap to be bought. No. You know, I must be a leader with a content wherever I am.
You know, Victor, when all you have is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. And I want to tell Tom Odege here. You know, he just said that the speaker doesn't have the capacity and the mandate to rule. I want to educate him. And he's a seasoned politician, but he seems not to want to understand issues of law. And he wants to deal with legal issues politically. You can't have a political solution to a legal issue. Part 1, and the first standing order says, in cases not provided for, the Speaker is to decide.
Do you want to say this one is not provided for?
Let me finish. And it says, in all cases where matters are not expressly provided for by these standing orders or by the orders of the House or any other procedural question shall be decided by the Speaker. Now, as we say here, the reason for us to be here, if this were decided, then this debate would have been 2 minutes, would have just come and said, this is what the law says about the majority, and then we would have finished. So what it means, and why we have been arguing here, is because it's not expressly provided for. And now when it is not expressly provided for, these standing orders say that the Speaker shall make that decision.
But that standing order will act separately as per what is provided for by the register of political parties.
These standing orders,
will you have to interpret
these standing orders?
Yes,
is what the Speaker shall use in the floor of the House. This is what he shall
overrule.
Not to overrule.
Yes,
to make statements and to make all procedures and proceedings of the House.
There is danger then in the floor of the House, Mheshimiwa Tom.
No, I mean, you need to understand, wait a minute. Right. You need to understand that the standing orders in the House are sacred.
Okay.
And we must wait. That is the truth. You know what we use in the House. We use the standing orders. That is the truth. That's what
you said you wanted to educate me.
And I'm educating you, and I'm telling you, and I'm educating you.
Because you're entering into a rogo zone.
So no, it is true. It is true. The Speaker, on the floor of the House, let me first tell him. I want him to understand. I want him to agree with me.
Okay.
And he's been on that floor of the House before. On the floor of the House. The Bible that we use there, or the Quran we use on that floor, is the standing orders. If there is anything that, the only thing that will be left when the standing orders are used and used appropriately is now to determine, and this is the purview of judiciary now, to determine whether anything in these standing orders was in contravention with the supreme law of the land, which is the Constitution.
All right. That's it.
All right.
But any other legislation, and that would happen. You know, it is true we put things as they are, and I like being honest.
You're coming up
on the floor of the House, on the floor of the House, the Speaker will use these standing orders, and then if he makes a decision, you can only now challenge it in court. And see, you will challenge the legality of this document and now pit it against the supreme law of the land, which is the Constitution, and say, now, this ruling, and that is the purview of judiciary, completely. So, on the floor of the House, this is what Wetangula will use.
Mheshimiwa, go ahead.
Okay. Let me also lecture this young man. Because, relax.
No, he must withdraw that statement. I'm not a young man anymore. By the way, young is described in the... No, he must withdraw.
Withdraw your statement or walk out of the House.
Let him address me appropriately. That is derogatory. That is derogatory, and it is also discriminatory.
Let me tell you something. When you see us now referring to the register of political parties, it's now the Constitution giving registrar mandate, the Constitution of Kenya, giving the registrar mandate to allow parties to enter into these coalitions. That's why the clerk will write to the registrar to advise or to communicate what has transpired in the elections and the strength of parties and everything. Constitutional. The standing orders you're talking about is purely to guide the House, and it's the business of the House. It's not allowed to injure any clause in the Constitution of Kenya or to interfere with the mandate of another constitutional body. Like now, everything which is now coming to Parliament to be communicated by the Speaker will purely come from the registrar of political parties. Put this one aside.
As far as this matter is concerned?
As far as this matter is concerned.
Okay.
This thing of not expressly what, those ones put aside. This one will be read as brought by the registrar of political parties. Nothing else. You cannot now use, you know, when you go to the Bible, what you read in John if you don't combine it, what you get in Matthews, you may think you are heading to heaven. Kumbe Matthews is even enriching it. So you have to read this verse combined with this verse. We go with the standing orders, but respect what's all given, or the mandate which is also given to other constitutional bodies.
By the way, just to educate Tom Odege, he needs to know. Allow me, Victor, because it's just education. Just a minute here, because he just said it. You know, he just said about the standing orders. And please familiarize yourself with this document. It's very important. Standing order number 2B: the clerk shall obtain from the registrar of political parties a certified copy of any coalition agreements entered into. Which we had mentioned. Which is saying, he mentioned and he's saying that is not in the...
But is that final? Whatever will be open from the register of political parties.
And then after you do that, now, you know, familiarize yourself with this document. After this 2B says that, then now the speaker, having considered all those issues...
Can he change anything from that communication?
He makes a decision. Can I finish? Having had what shall be presented on the floor of the House, because we shall also be there, and we shall contribute to the debate, right? And we shall give these issues and how we view the law and everything, and they will be there. Then he shall be guided by these standing orders to make a decision. And I'm saying that decision that he will make can only be challenged by the judiciary. It is not in the purview of Tom Odege and his people in ODM to deal with that. They can't. It will be final, and the only people who can overturn that or who can make a decision otherwise is the judiciary, and not a magistrate's court, a high court and above. So he needs to be familiar with the law and the proceedings of parliament and proceedings of judiciary.
Can I ask him something?
The domain of the law, yes, proceed.
So do you want to tell the public that the speaker is already prepared to make a ruling which will be challenged in court?
No,
because that's what I can see.
I'm just saying. This is the law. I mean, it is prescribed. It is prescribed even in the Constitution, and it says that this Constitution, anything that shall be deemed to be in contravention of the Constitution, can only be dealt with at the court.
Let's take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about the issue of MCS being sworn in this week. Most of them are getting into their respective assemblies, and there's this issue of your allowances. I know it's Mheshimiwa Tom Odege here will be so happy about that shortly when you come back after this break. Let's take a break. Okay.
Are you a holder of unclaimed financial assets? Take advantage of the Finance Act 2022 moratorium on penalties and interests. Surrender any unclaimed financial assets in your possession today. Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority. Receive, safeguard, reunite.
I waited so many years for you to come back to this place, but I never thought that you'd do it like this. You're beside someone who's taking you further away from me.
It was very strange. I felt that she was in front of me and that she wanted to kill me.
No, sweetheart, that was just a nightmare, okay?
That's what I just found out just now. Angelica has left. She won't be at the hotel anymore.
What am I gonna do? She calls me all the time and she chases me. It's not really my fault that she likes me more than you. Right?
Nuria has always wished the worst for every member of this family except you.
Goodness, I've been so blind all these years. Why didn't I ever realize the extent of Nuria's bitterness and desire for revenge?
Tujaelewana ama hatujamalizana, which is which? No, What makes you think I have something to lose? Yani uliamua kumpeleka kwa daktari behind my back.
Usijaribu kunielekeza kidole cha lawama. Either umzoe ama ujitahadhari naye.
Hiyo mistari nishamwambia tafuta mistari mwingine.
Kuna nini tena? How is Hannah? Casey, shut up!
All right, welcome back. We're coming to the tail end. With me in studio, I have Tom Odege, MP, Nyatika constituency, as well as Gabriel Kagombe, who is a member of parliament of Gatundu South constituency. So, gentlemen, let's just finalize on this one, on what you should expect, because now House business resumes officially next week. It's a busy week, of course, induction happening across the country, and by next week, Kenyans are waiting to see what's happening. I mean, to transact business in the House. So, what should you expect? Starting with you, Mheshimiwa.
You know, when you look at where our country is, we are faced with a number of challenges, which I would say Parliament must tackle.
Yeah.
Especially the issue of our economy. The cost of living, as we are talking now, is unbearable to all Kenyans. We talk about the price of fuel. We talk about the unga. When you talk about price of fuel, it hits all sectors.
Yeah.
And now you'll allow me to wear the hat of being a trade unionist. The worst hit are the workers in this country. Because these people, you know, they don't have any shortcut to avoid paying tax. Because it's tapped at the source. So when you see the workers hard hit, it's very clear that each and every Kenyan is suffering. Because if you want to trigger the economy, the employees must be able to spend. Because these are the people who buy goods and consume.
Yeah.
But if these people are deprived of that luxury of spending, everybody in the country is suffering. So, as the House, we must come up with measures which can make Kenyans now will be relieved of this kind of situation we have found ourselves in. And it's just a matter of time. If you don't fix the country very fast, Kenyans will be tired, and I don't think anybody will sit pretty.
And of course, the president said that it's a responsibility, because at the end of the day, it has to go to taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as worker representatives, we will not allow him to increase any tax on our members. We will not allow him.
But what do you think would be the quickest solution? Because at the end of the day, the common mwananchi down there would want to see a reduction, as you've correctly put it, when the cost of fuel is high. Right now, it's retailing at 180 on a flat rate. But then now, it has a ripple effect, so to speak. The immediate remedy to the situation.
Whether we like it or not, the price of fuel must be reduced. The formula is up to the government, but it must come down so that we can get, our people can settle down.
Yeah.
Then as we look for long-term avenues of fixing those things of subsidy and everything. But the immediate remedy, we must allow our people to get that relief as we discuss with the government agencies on how best do we fix these things so that we also don't overbore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mheshimiwa Gabriel, you know, there's that heavy load now on the members of parliament, both from sides, because at the end of the day, it cuts across. I'm trying to imagine what will be the immediate remedy to the cost of living, and the president said very well that that is his big agenda, to fix the economy. From Kenya Kwanza, or generally as a member of parliament, what is your take?
First of all, I want to disagree with Tom Odege. on the people who are hardest hit.
The workers.
Hardest hit are not the workers. The hardest hit are the unemployed people. Because you have people with families and they are unemployed. Those are the hardest hit people. They have no source of income whatsoever.
Yeah.
They do not even now have the luxury. I mean, they have no income at all. Those are the hardest hit. Because there must be order of how people are affected by the economy. Then now, number 2 comes his people that he represents. And in that order, and so on and so forth. But, you know, like I said, it will take us some time to undo what has already happened. Because, you know, for example, we have shortage of maize. And you know, this shortage of maize has been systemic. We have no maize, and that's why Unga is at 230, 250, because we do not have reserves. So what are we saying? The first immediate thing that even that the president did on the day of his inauguration is to make sure we have ability to produce maize. Because imagine where I come from here in Central Province. When I grew up, I never went to the shop one day to buy maize flour. Maize flour. I mean, we always had maize, and then you take it to the posho mill, and then you'd get it. And when we have maize, then you can take it now. We can sell it to the packers, and then they will use it and then pack it and then to be in the market. So that is why we first did a subsidy on farm inputs as opposed to subsidy on consumption. Because subsidy on consumption is literally tokenism. It's giving people food to eat. And you know the popular saying that says you'd rather give someone a net and show them how to fish as opposed to give them fish. So we're saying we want to start, and we've started. For example, now in tea industry, where I happen to come from, and where I happen to be a leader as a director at KTDA, then we are subsidizing fertilizer because it's an input. So we have subsidized fertilizer, especially in the next 3 months. In the areas where we know there will be short rains, and in western, lower eastern and central province, and we ask the governors to come and make sure. Even right now, I am forming 4 areas to go and collect fertilizer, subsidized fertilizer from NCPB, so that now people can start planting. That is the immediate way of alleviating what we have. Then we shall go to issues of fuel. And you know, fuel affects every other industry, including power and so many others, and transport and everything else that touches on people's lives. So we're also going to deal with that. And you know, the president now is going to get, you know, part of that 179 shillings of petrol is, I think 52% of it is taxes. But these taxes at times cannot be touched because of other agreements with other partners, you know, IMF, World Bank, and everyone. So we have, and at the UN General Assembly after that, the president has a meeting with some of these partners and see how to reduce on that tax, and then it will be brought to the floor of the House. This has been a member of parliament before in the 12th Assembly. Tom Odege will tell you that when a lot of these taxes have been put on this, either by budget and what you call the appropriations bill, they've been there and they know it has been going up slowly. And those are the things we want to reverse. And then the final thing will be now to create some long-term solutions for it, like making sure that we are self-sustaining in terms of production.
All right. Mheshimiwa Tom, gentlemen, thank you for that. I want us to go to the next one because I'm told we are almost coming to the final end. But then, as per what we have there, Azimio, let me call him Raila Odinga, who is Honorable Raila Odinga, is now settling for the position of an opposition. And as per what's in the papers, is that there's a law that's supposed to be amended to have that office legally constituted. I don't know what's your take on that, Mwish?
This one I've also seen it in Star.
Yes.
But I don't think we have had any discussion towards that direction. Because how do you settle for a position which is not there? If you talk about amending the act, where did we meet and agree to amend? I think whoever reports this may be having more details about it, but I can't sit here authoritatively and say that's the direction we are taking, because amendment must be done in Parliament. Who has proposed it? Is there any discussion towards that? No.
But do you think would be the best move for Honorable Odinga?
This idea was mooted when we were coming up with the BBI we were talking about. But I don't think it has matured up for consideration again. Yeah, this one I think somebody is trying to provoke us to think towards that direction. But if you ask me, we have not started that discussion. It's not there.
What is the position of Azimio generally, as it stands?
You know, the current structure we have, even if you talk about official opposition, it can only be fronted from the House. That's the structure we have currently, where we have the majority, minority, those ones. Those are the ones in the legal books. But if you talk about Raila settling down in an office which is not there, I don't think we are there. We don't need to preempt something that is a debate which has not been initiated. I don't think.
Mheshimiwa Gabriel, what do you think?
I think
of course he's saying that it's an insinuation as it is. They have not had a discussion on how it should go.
I'm in agreement with Tom on that one, and I'm saying probably the law is the Constitution of Kenya 2010 does not provide for an office of official opposition.
It's not there.
But what I think it does, this comes to the House. And that is why in the House now, it comes back to what we were saying.
Yes.
The majority party, depending on which one it is, if the majority party, the party that does not form government, is supposed to be checking government. And Parliament generally checks the executive, but the party that does not form government is per se. And I think
automatically
we agree there is a legal lacuna of things that are not expressly pronounced.
Yes.
The Constitution has not pronounced itself and addressed itself to those issues.
Was it the reason why President Ruto was campaigning during his campaign to have that office legally constituted?
Yes, a proper office, so that now we have an office that the person who is checking government actually has an office that is within the law. And I think we need to form that office so that we have the office of the official opposition leader. Because now the person who leads, it is unfortunate, the person who is the party leader of the party that does not form government sits outside. You get?
And this one takes us back where winner takes it all.
Yeah, you see, he sits outside because, and this by the way I say with a lot of sincerity and goodwill. Like now, Raila Odinga, who is per se the leader of the party leader of say Azimio or ODM and everything, is addressing people and giving direction to people who are in Parliament, and he's at home. You get what I mean? He's addressing these people and giving them direction, and he has no hand in that Parliament, and he has no control. He's saying this from his house in Karen or whatever it is. You get? So we probably need to have a proper structure so that opposition, because, and I want to say, the previous government, why things went the way they went and there was handshake, and it's because there was a legal lacuna. Because if Raila Odinga had a proper office that is the office of opposition and has its structure, then I do not think the handshake could have happened. Because he could have had his place that he's sitting on and he has his office.
Getting busy to work.
Yes.
But if at all it's fronted and floated the floor of the House for a debate, I don't know what would your position, you as Mheshimiwa Tom Odege, would you buy that idea for that office to be?
Not really buying, but if we want our democracy to propel this country, it is necessary. Because as he is putting it, if you are not elected and you are at home, you don't have any recognized office to address your issues from. You don't have any legal structure to engage with the government. You know, if the office is established, there will be some guidelines on how you can engage with the government.
Yeah, some legal bindings.
They can even have some structures of meetings and consultations. But in the absence of that, you end up with just pressure groups which some of them might not be
By the per se, as things are, I think the person who actually sits as a leader of opposition is a minority leader.
That's what he says there. What's there in the constitution currently.
Yes, it is a minority leader. So,
which to some extent cannot go past
the floor of the
house, and by extension,
and it also subjects you to a lot of consultation.
Exactly, with the party leader.
Since the party leader is not with you in the house,
yes,
before you do something, you have to go and look for that party leader to consult on what you want to do. Yeah, so
generally it's a good move,
and I think
okay, it's good for the country.
See, when you say, and this is for good order, because whoever is in parliament, whoever is in government, we do not want a situation where we have someone ruling with a fist, with an iron fist, and saying this is the way and cannot be asked and cannot be questioned, because we've seen it. We've seen it in the last 5 years, and we saw the direction that the country was going.
Yeah.
If that was to happen in 10 years, then we will be losing a lot of space in our democracy. So I think we need to have a proper check. And the current president has said that we shall not be afraid of being put to task to do what is proper. We shall ask, and we shall create a proper framework for people to question the government and to oversee the government and to question. And even if wherever you belong, whether you belong to the party that did not form government or the party that formed government, we shall need, and I think we shall have that conversation and see how best to have the people who did not form government engage the government and keep it in check.
All right, gentlemen, the question of SRC scrapping members of parliament allowance, it was contested in court just a day before we went for an election, and the court said that number one, CDF, NGCDF is illegal and it was scrapped off. And now Speaker of the National Assembly said yesterday that your allowances are safe with him. I don't know what's your take.
Okay.
From here to Nyatika, I know that distance. Unlike Mheshimiwa, the south is just 20 minutes drive.
Let me help him. On CDF, the ruling was on CDF,
yes,
not NGCDF.
CDF, yes.
So those are two different things.
Thank you for that correction.
So when we talk about national government fund, it's there. Nobody challenged it.
Okay.
Because when there was a problem with the county governments, when they thought this money was meant for devolution, the act was amended. But they went to court with the old one.
Yes.
So what we have currently now is for the national government. And nobody has touched it. Again, when you talk about these benefits of MPs, I know, and I can recall in 2017 when we were newly elected, I was in that platform there with some MPs here. One of us, who was very new, as I was new, said that MPs are being overpaid. An MP, before earning a salary, said, no, these MPs are being overpaid. In our third year in the office, he said, he was a nominated MP, he said, this money is too small, I can't survive with it, and I'm not going to seek nomination again. And true to his word, he never asked for nomination again. He went home, and he said he could not survive with this money. So what I want to say here to SRC, though I know our speaker is tackling it, like now, when I'm going to my constituency is around 500 kilometers from Nairobi. And you're telling me the vehicle I'm supposed to use must be 3,000 cc. That one would mean you want to confine me to a small car. And when you confine me to a small car to cover 500 kilometers, coming back, that's 1,000. If I do local running, I'll be doing something like 1,500. Going over the weekend or coming back to Nairobi in a small car. Being from a rural constituency, roads are not that good. It's like you're telling an MP not to go to his constituency. So limit on the capacity of the cars should not be there. MPs from Nairobi can use any car, even an Uber to cover his constituency because roads are good, they are relatively small. But somebody who is coming from a rural constituency, whether you like it or not, you must mind about the car you're using, because that one is also your security.
Yeah.
It's also your security. So there are some limits which, even if you ask me, are not realistic. You look at the distance and the kind of the car. Every time you go, when you come back, you're in a garage. Every time you go, you come back, you're in a garage. So those ones, to me, if you ask me, should not be there.
Yeah.
Come to the sitting allowance in the house. Now I want to talk as a trade unionist. If you ask me, you can even argue about the salary of an MP, but not touch the allowance in that house. Because that house is where we are working. Then later in the Monday, you'll have to take your flight back to Nairobi to attend the business on Tuesday. So you'll have a complete 3 days in the constituency.
Almost half a million.
You'll have to use $500,000 in that constituency in that weekend.
Damn. Minus the expenses of now, running around your fuel and water.
Those ones leave out. You are being in the constituency alone. In that one weekend, you must have $500,000 for you to be safe and leave your constituents comfortable.
Then why are people fighting for this position? I mean, you look so... Are you sympathizing? Are you regretting why you took the seat from Mr. Surya?
He's not regretting. He's absorbing.
Probably you're regretting why you kicked out Mr. Surya on the position.
I must have looked at my face and wondered, I look so silent. Yeah, but I have the story, and that is the reality. By the way, you may not realize this. A lot of people don't realize, and you may think I just come from Gatondo here, and so I mean, there's no
the rest are almost the same.
There's no
and the needs are almost the same, right?
Not just that. No, it's different. My people, because of proximity, my people expect me to be there every day. If he's away from his constituency on a Wednesday, people will understand. Even when there's parliament, my people will not give you an excuse that, oh, today I was in parliament. No. They know you can go to parliament and come in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Or they know you can come in the morning and then you go to parliament in the afternoon, because of proximity. So then that makes our frequency a lot higher. I mean, when I live here, after the session in the evening, I'll still go to the constituency and you'll attend to issues, small issues. And these issues are real issues. And that is why, exactly, let me first address the issue of CDF, because...
Yes, go ahead.
If you talk about CDF, you realize the CDF is the devolved fund that if you go around the constituencies, the most visible money is the CDF money. You'll find patron this MP, even former MPs. You'll see, but you'll see there's some money that was... And number two, the use and the way CDF is formulated addresses to the issues that touch on the most basic issues, and because there's very high participation.
But there's need to protect it away from some quote-unquote MPs who misuse that money.
Give me 1 minute, I help him.
Yeah.
The CDF I've seen currently under the Act, you touch it at your own peril. There is no way you can...
How do you even touch it?
The money of CDF comes with the budget approved from Nairobi here. You don't just get money and go and budget and spend.
Let me tell you.
The money comes with the budget.
Let me tell you how it happens.
Okay.
Let me tell you how it happens. First of all, just like he said, we had the CDF Act of 2013. That is one that is in court. Then when the members of parliament realized that was in court, then they formed another one called NGCDF of 2015. That is also in court, but the ruling has not been done. And the truth is that the ruling, the precedence of ruling against the 2013 may have an effect on the 2015. But then that one is still in court. Let's not talk about it. We don't want to be sub judice. Now, how, like he's explaining, you go and sit during public participation. You say, we want to make Nyatike or whatever, Karato Primary School. You say, this is what public participation. We say, we want to renovate this roof and ABCD. You put it down. That money, that list is called a code list. That code list is taken to CDF board and they approve. That money comes directly to that school. That school forms an account in parliament, in the bank. In the bank account.
And
there's a major
account
where the money is put. Okay. And then that money goes directly to that school's account. So the person, listen, the signatory to that account is one member of the CDF the principal or the headmaster
the committee members
and another committee member called the PMC. So you form the PMC committee. It is not even the members of the CDF board that approve that money. The contractor shall be paid by that local person there, the headmistress or headmaster, and the committee, the PMC committee. So you have no control.
And you are not given money in advance. You are paid what you have done.
Yes.
If you have laid foundation, they come and inspect that foundation.
You raise a certificate.
They pay you that foundation.
And the person, the public
you do the wall,
person.
you are paid the wall. There is no way you owe the government money.
This is a whole lot of discussion that we can have for an entire hour, because
it's when
somebody
very elaborate.
MP eating CDF,
you can't.
It's impossible.
Exactly.
It's impossible.
Gentlemen.
And that is why you find that it is very visible.
Yeah. Gentlemen, allow me to stop at that point. It's 9:01, and I'm told that we're running out of time. We've done 1.5 hours already. Mheshimiwa Tom Odege, Mpinyatike, thank you so much for your time, as well as Gabriel Kagombe, the man who said he looked pensively like. But that's the nature of our job, gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming. MP of Gatundu South, Member of Parliament. Asanteni sana. We'll have this discussion later on, probably when you now resume House business, and we'll put you to task on what you deliver to Kenyans.
No problem.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. Doreen Aranga is up next with the next program. My name is Victor Lo. Have a good morning. Bye-bye.
She was like you. She would set up the fire and I would cook. I don't know how she got by.
You told me before that he could cause you trouble. I'm afraid that...
What is it?
I heard that the heavens has been looking for Mars' body for 70,000 years.
That day, Francis and I were there to have fun. Did Geneva find out about that? Does he know that I'm Echo?
I've never stopped searching for Echo, except for when I was stationed at Long Sea. But I've found nothing. I guess that's it. Are you trying to start another war?
Have opticians who are more specific.
Yes, they work mostly on glasses, so that means they will, maybe I can write a prescription and give to an optician to make that lens. So they make your glasses, how your glasses are right now. We also have an ophthalmologist, so that's a medical doctor who performs surgeries. We do not perform surgeries as optometrists. Yes.
So an optometrist, you basically just check and recommend.
Yes.
Give advice.
Yes, we can prescribe drops, we prescribe glasses, but ophthalmologists deal with more complicated ocular disorders, and they also perform surgeries. Yes.
You know, because oftentimes, anytime you hear someone saying, I have a problem with my eyes, or I feel like I need to go see a doctor, they would keep saying oftentimes, I'm going to see an optician.
Yes, optician. Yeah, I think it's the more common term. A lot of people don't know optometrists. Yeah, but we exist.
You exist. So you're here to also equally give us your role.
Yes.
So by the time you're thinking of getting checked before you actually either wear the contacts, the glasses, the eye drops, whichever it is will be recommended to you, which is the first step to take? You go to the optician, the optometrist, the the ophthalmologist.
Okay, so you can go to any of us.
Any can do?
Yes, okay. Any can do, because say you start with an optician and they're not able to deal with the condition, they might refer you to us, and if your condition we also can't deal with, we can also refer to an ophthalmologist. But maybe just to make it easier, if you just need glasses, you have poor vision, you've had glasses, you need glasses, you can see an optometrist or an optician. If you have maybe a more serious ocular condition, say that you feel might need surgery, okay, you wouldn't know, but if you have a more serious condition, it's better to see an ophthalmologist. Yes,
because they would get deeper into
they would run more tests than we would.
All right, now let's come to the conversation. As we've said, and we keep saying all the time, in fact, any conversation you have, you realize that technology, the digital space, is where we are moving to. I mean, that is actually, like, I should say, our new norm. There wouldn't be any time where you wouldn't find yourself either on the phone, watching TV, on your computer. Even our workspaces dictate that kind of environment. So we talk about technology and its impact to eye care. How, or actually eye care. How impactful is it? Because again, we can't do away with that.
So as you've said, technology is very important in our day-to-day daily activities. Almost most of us will spend a few hours of your day on your phone or your computer, your TV. I mean, almost half of your day.
A day can't end if you've not been any of this
on the devices. Yes, so because it's very important for us on our daily activities, we cannot just put them aside because we need to protect our eyes. But there are a number of things that you can do, and in the process of still using these devices and trying to take or maintain our normal eye health. There are a number of things we can do. Say you're always on your computer and it's your job from 8 to 5. You can reduce the screen time by maybe taking short breaks during that time. If you're spending 1 hour, make sure out of that 1 hour you take 20 minutes or 20 seconds of that to look at something at least 20 feet away. That goes, it's a small thing, but it goes a long way. Yes. Other than that, you're supposed to change the angles on your computer. Say there's a window behind you, you're supposed to change the angle so that you don't have a lot of glare from your devices. We have, you can adjust the lighting on your computer, on your phone, on your screens. All screens have that. You can adjust the brightness. Again, you don't want to put it very dim so that you're also straining to look at the screens. So just make it comfortable enough for you to be able to work comfortably with them.
And I've heard you talk about the dimness or the lightness. I will come that to be trying to understand, which one is actually better depending on whatever condition you might have, or if at all you're just okay. But before we get to that, you've talked about reducing screen time, and we can clearly agree that there are jobs whereby you are constantly on the
your
screen.
So
then how do you go about this? Because I mean, this is your job.
It is. So as I mentioned, you're supposed to take short breaks, 20 seconds after every 20 minutes to look at something 20 feet away. You don't have to stand or walk around. Say maybe you're not comfortable in a certain, when the intensity of the light around you has changed, then you notice you're now less comfortable, you need it dimmer, or you need to adjust you always need to adjust the lighting. The good thing is we have glasses or lenses that help with that, so that they help you be more able to adjust to the lighting around the devices.
Talk to me about vision syndrome. Which kind of defect is that? Is it also as a result of constant use of technology?
So we have the digital eye strain. That's what you mean. So with the digital eye strain, it comes about when you spend the extended periods of time on these digital devices. As much as it sounds, it's not very serious. The symptoms are not prolonged. They usually last about an hour. So within an hour, so within an hour of spending long hours on your screens, you'll experience sometimes blurry vision, because now your tear film has been disrupted. You don't have your eyes are not well lubricated. You'll experience sometimes fatigue. You feel like your eyelids eyelids are heavy, there's just that general discomfort in your eye. For some people, it might be accompanied by headaches, and that means the symptoms will last longer. So yeah, it's a condition that is brought about by digital devices, spending prolonged hours of prolonged time on the screens. Yes.
So I mean, if these conditions are as a result of the technology, different digital platforms, then why are they having so many different names? Because there are quite a number of these defects as a result of technology, as you mentioned.
Yeah, it's because you all get different symptoms. Remember, we might...
Each of this has its own specific symptoms.
Yes, we might both spend the same time on the screen, but at the end of the day, you have a headache. I don't. Maybe your eyes are tearing up. Mine are not. Maybe I'm seeing blurry. I'm having a blurry vision. You having an okay vision. So yeah, that's just part of it. Yeah.
So this digital strain, the digital eye strain, also looks like to be one of those very key conditions as a result of the technology, which is what we're talking about. How do you counteract this kind of condition?
As I had mentioned earlier, there are a number of things you might do. It's very advisable to always have your eyes checked. We say
constantly. After how long?
So we advise you get at least within 2 years you have your eyes checked once. We have people that would want to see them more, especially people who have conditions like diabetes or hypertension, because we have conditions that you are more likely to get because of these conditions. So twice a year it's okay. For people with these other conditions, diabetes, hypertension, once a year. If you wear glasses, it's advisable you have your eyes checked yearly, because by then, remember, even with the test that you undergo for your vision, they might also indicate a different type of condition, not necessarily an ocular condition. Yeah, so you always have your eyes checked at least once or twice a year. Get on your working environment, always adjust the lighting around you. Get proper glasses with the right prescription. Have glasses that help with glare and such thing. Have a well-balanced diet.
So
it's very important.
Go a long way.
Yeah, they do. So you have a well-balanced diet, because by then, if you balance the diet, you'll not get these other conditions, which will later in turn affect your eyes. Yeah, wear sunglasses when you're in the sun. We have UV rays that might be harmful to your eyes. Always have protection against those harmful UV rays.
Yeah, you talked about conditions even while you're explaining that, and you mentioned diabetes, hypertension. In fact, it doesn't really necessarily have to be this particular one. But what are some of these things that someone should be looking at? What are some of these telltale signs?
Okay, so you will notice the symptoms maybe immediately after spending your time on screen. Apart from the
that
tearing,
happens in a snap like that, so immediately?
Really, it builds up slowly, yes. And then yeah, it builds up slowly over time, and then you will notice, because it will only be after you spend the time on the screen. So you're at work from Monday to Friday. That's when you know your eyes will tear up, they will be red at some point, you'll feel like they are dry or a foreign body sensation, and maybe that's just part of your week. And then maybe on the weekends, since you're not on your computer or your laptop, you will notice that you don't experience that. Then that is likely to tell you that you're getting this eye strain from your devices. Yes.
So just look at some of those signs. It could mean something is wrong and might need.
Yes. And then again, if you have your eyes checked, we will be able to tell and maybe advise.
As you mentioned, yearly, if you're wearing glasses, at least 2 years.
Yeah.
If you're not. So then there's always that notion that any time you are feeling like something is wrong with your eye, just looking at also those signs that you've talked about, we are so quick to say, I think I need to start wearing glasses, or I think I need to start wearing contacts, or I think I need eye drops. I think I want you to just elucidate on that a bit, at least to also create knowledge, perhaps also for our viewers who are watching, that not every eye defect might need glasses, and how you go about that.
Yeah, it's the truth. not everyone needs to wear glasses. So when
some things just for aesthetics and looking nice.
Some people prefer to just have glasses because they want to look nice, which is also fine, because with that you can get something that helps with lighting. As much as you want it for aesthetics, you still have it for as with a function. So when you come to the clinic, you go through a test, and the test will tell us if your vision is within normal range.
This is what you do at Clapea?
Yes.
Okay.
So the test will tell us if your vision is within normal range, and if it is, then we go to the next step. Maybe during your daily activities, do you spend a certain time on your screen? And if you don't, then well and good, you don't need glasses. You might have a different issue. Say maybe you get a lot of discharge in the morning, or maybe your eyes are always itchy. There's pain in your eyes. See, so we work with what you come in with. We don't just give you glasses because you have come to the facility. We want to know what is your main concern. What do you want to have your eyes sorted with? So with that, it's very important that you get your eyes checked or tested by a professional, because it's very easy for you to just walk down in the street and see very nice frames and then just pick it up and put them on and life continues. I won't be able to say much about the legitimacy of these lenses and the frames, but it is important that you get your eyes tested first so that you get your right correction. Yes.
You talked about when you walk into the clinic, there's these tests that are run. I think I'd like you to just walk us through that, also just for people to understand that when you get there, sometimes someone may really have a mentality, as you mentioned, you might be walking on the street, you're seeing some nice frames and you're feeling, okay, just to make me feel nice that I actually went to see a doctor, but already my mind is set. This is what I want. So whatever you diagnose on me, it's actually glasses that I want.
You want.
Walk us through that.
Okay, so there's a range of which we'd say your eyes is within normal range and your eyes is not, because for maybe both of us, if we take this magazine and we put it here, you're able to read it. If we start pushing it further, there'll be a point you'll be like,
can we even test? Can we just try?
Okay.
Let me get this.
Okay. So my vision.
What's the header saying?
Farewell like no other.
And you can clearly see that?
Yes, very clearly.
Let's see if I can. Without glasses.
Interesting. So let's see. So with this.
And the only thing I'm seeing is just the red color.
So you see.
So that means what already?
So it means you already have a refractive error. Refractive error means you're either short-sighted or long-sighted, what you say, myopia.
Like I can't even see you clearly. Let me just have them on.
So as I was saying earlier, but if you take this and maybe without your glasses and move it closer to your face, you will be able to
see it well.
Yeah. So the tests we do will tell us for a normal person. For a normal person, for a normal person with normal vision, you're supposed to read this letter at this distance. It's mostly about distance. So if you're able to read something at a certain range, even for adults, you might see them with such symptoms. You're using your phone, but it's on one side, so it means one eye is not giving you good vision.
Like when I look at it like sideways, it's much clearer as opposed to when I'm looking at it frontal.
So that means you need a correction, which can very comfortably help you to read things clearly.
Okay, so I mean that's why again it's important to just go through those tests as opposed to self-prescribing yourself.
Yes.
But again, we've also had instances whereby you see someone walk into that pharmacy or the chemist and maybe they had dry eyes, and we talk a bit about that as well. Or they are teary, you talked about that, or itchy, some form of redness either in the morning or late in the evening, and you don't take anything. It's just how your eyes look like, and they feel, I need to get those eye drops. Nimeambiwa hizi ndo zinatoa.
It helped my sister, so it will also help me.
I want to.
A lot of people self-medicate. It's not advisable. Remember, the eye is a very small organ, but we might experience maybe the same symptoms. You have a teary eye, I have a teary eye, both our eyes are red, both our eyes are itchy. So you think, since you were given that drop, this will also help. That is not correct, because we might have similar symptoms but different conditions, and that's that's where we say it's very important for you to get your eyes checked. Then we will be able to tell, this is not an allergy, this is a bacterial infection, this is a different condition, you need this type of test, you need this medication. Yeah, and it's important. At the end of the day, it's very important to have your eyes checked from an eye care professional. Yeah.
And again, also have another similar situation where someone feels like I've worn glasses for long, and maybe they're just tiring me. I just don't feel like I want to wear glasses anymore. They feel like I now want to change from glasses to wearing contacts. I feel like they are better. So is this something that you do? Because, I mean, you already know perhaps whatever your condition is. Like, I already know mine since I've been wearing glasses for a while. Then I feel like I want to just change and start wearing contacts. Do I just change because I already know my condition? Or I again have to go for a test? How does this work? Because you also have those who feel like contacts, removing, putting them on is a lot of work. Let me just be on glasses.
Yeah, so we have different ways of correcting your vision. The most common one is glasses, because it's affordable, it's less hectic, and it's the more available one. It's easily accessible for a lot of people.
The glasses.
We have contact lenses. Contact lenses also, just like glasses, they are, for a number of places, they are also easily accessible, and then we have refractive surgeries. So out of these three, we want for you to start to have an eye test done first, so that we can see. You need glasses, but you don't need a refractive surgery. You can have contact lenses if you want, because anyone really with refractive errors can have glasses. So say, for example, in your case, you've had glasses for a long time, and now you want to have contact lenses. We go through a test, because remember, with contact lenses you'll be touching your eyes more often, or placing something inside your eye. This is this can offer a very good route for bacteria directly inside your eye.
Contact lens.
Yes. So we want to make sure that the contact lens will do more harm than good, because if you don't wash your hands and just put your contact lens directly, you will get an infection in eyes. So it's important that you go through the test, and then maybe depending on the nature of your work, maybe we will know if this contact lens will be more appropriate for you or not. Yes.
So again, it also needs that test. You just can't say,
we are going back to having
for
the
3 years already, so I know.
Just give me the contact lenses.
It actually need to go through the test.
Yeah.
All right. Also, we equally have another situation where we've talked about the eye defects, the difference, the different of them that there are, and we have also seen that there have been some people who have actually worn glasses for a while, but it gets to a point where they just can't see at all. Some even just completely become blind. So which eye defects are these that are permanent, and which ones can be corrected over time? Do we have specificities?
So with refractive errors, it's very unlikely that you will become blind. Say, I started wearing glasses. I know I'm getting.
10 years later, I just can't see no more.
No, it's unlikely that you will become blind after wearing glasses, or maybe due to a refractive error. So by refractive error, we mean that you need glasses to correct your vision. You're either myopic or hyperopic, or you're either short-sighted or long-sighted. We also have a condition called presbyopia, which affects people over the age of 40.
Specific over the age of 40?
Yes. So for people over the age of 40, approaching the age of 40, they will notice that when you say it's a phone or it's something with very small fonts, they will tend to push it further. You'll notice this with our parents, maybe grandparents. They will tend to push it further away from your face.
Or if they're on specs, they'll tend to do something of the sort.
And then you might have a very good vision, say you have raised intraocular pressure, and over time you might it also affects your peripheral vision. So you have a reduced field of view. You're not able to see maybe on your side, like when you're looking at me, you're able to also see at something on the side. So over time it reduces, and then
that's not normal.
It's not normal. So, but you're looking at a group of symptoms that you might experience. So remember,
like as you're looking at me, can you see kind of what is on this side?
Yes.
You can?
Yeah. You're supposed to. But when you get a condition like glaucoma, your peripheral vision will be affected. So you'll have a sort of tunnel vision. I'm only able to see you and just anything behind or along this. So you lose the peripheral vision. So you're supposed to have the peripheral vision. Yes.
There's sometimes someone is actually looking and they're saying, I can see clearly what is on the side. Like
not clearly really, but you're able to.
But you're able
movement,
to
someone is
see.
moving, yes.
All right. We also equally have that, depending on the condition. Oh, and you almost pitched for time. I almost forgot.
Okay.
I just want you to really clarify on that a bit as we finalize, as we close this particular segment. That. And this is very layman, so I really want you to just talk about it a bit. That you'd find someone wearing specs, but anytime they're outside or when there's light, too much light, someone who's looking at you, they won't see the specs as clear. They would see a bit of shade in it, either dark or blue. And you'd see some people that really have whatever condition it is, most of their specs or glasses would equally have that. What is this?
So we have different types of lenses that help with light differently. So maybe the one that is very common is the one that has the photochromatic part of the lens. This, when you go outside, it turns dark. When you go back indoors, it becomes clear. So it turns dark so that it's able to protect you from the harmful UV rays, UVA, UVB, the ones that might damage your eyes. And then we have the ones that are blue. They are blue blocking. These are more specific for digital devices. So if you spend the whole day on your screen, then you'd use the blue blocking lenses. Yes. So depending. So for example, for you, you already have a prescription. The numbers you might opt to have it with photochromatic or with blue block or with both. Yes.
So that depends. So I felt it was important for you to clarify on that. And it's a good place to end this conversation. Thank you so much, Diana, for your insights. Such a cogent discussion there.
Thank you.
I have been speaking to Diana Langat, who is an optometrist at Lapea, Kenya. Of course, talking to us about matters eye care, intertwining that with technology. I'm Doreen Arange Okello on behalf of the entire team. Asante sana. Till tomorrow, have a good morning.
You think I have something to lose. Then uliamua kumpeleka kwa daktari behind my back.
Usijaribu kunielekeza kidole cha lawama. Either umzoe ama ujitahadhari naye.
Hiyo mistari nishamwambia tafuta mistari mwingine.
Kuna nini tena? How is Hannah? Casey, shut up!
I waited so many years for you to come back.